Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just click the link in the show description to support now.
Check out Liquid IV. Listen, it's the holiday season, folks, and you and I both know hydration is paramount. Okay, if you want to get through the shopping, if you want to get through visiting the family and friends, the sports and live events, come on. Got to make sure you stay hydrated, and there's no better way that I know of than Liquid IV. Okay, packed with B vitamins and all your other essential vitamins and nutrients there. Tastes great. You just take that hydration stick, you put it in a bottle of water, shake that sucker up, and enjoy. I'm telling you, shop better hydration today. In fact, if you visit liquidiv.com right now, you'll save 20% on your entire order by using the promo code Duke Loves Rasslin. That's right, Duke Loves Rasslin. No spaces, going to get you 20% off. What are you waiting for? Liquidiv.com. Enjoy. And now, let's get on with the show.
You're locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke Loves Rasslin.
And there is no one that does it better than
your hosts.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Brothers and sisters, I don't know what the heck is going on down in Florida, but legitimately over the past week, my inbox has been crazy. The Duke Loves Rasslin fan page has been crazy. There's just been some controversy after controversy going on, and it centers around Jeremy Gomez and his Generation Championship Wrestling. And I got to tell you, it's tough to follow along. It just seems like everybody's piling on. I thought in the beginning, okay, maybe this is just some wrestling stuff, but clearly it's not. It's a lot more personal than that, which is terrifying, quite frankly, because there's been some very strong language and people making fun of people's mothers and all kinds of just crazy stuff, man. Florida, again, Florida man, Florida crazy, Florida indies. But I'm trying to make some sense of this. So I reached out to a guy who, initially started this really in terms of putting something out that just got a tremendous reaction that snowballed. So I want to get to the heart of what's going on since we're kind of in the middle of it. We've been documenting what's been going on in the Florida indies for years. We've been documenting Generation Championship Wrestling for years. So, let's figure it out here. Without further ado, welcome to the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast, Storm Thomas. How you doing there, Storm?
I'm great, Duke. Thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to be a part of the show today.
Look, Storm, you're a pretty well-known and well-liked guy on the indie scene, especially the Florida indies. I know your work, followed you for years, and quite frankly, I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about you. You're a pretty well-respected guy. So it was really interesting when you put out this post. In fact, I'm going to read this. This is dated December 11th, and you posted, "I don't care how much heat I get for this. Bookers/promoters have no business being on the flyer. Get your brand/company over. Get your talent over, but stop trying to get yourself over." And then, Storm, you tagged Jeremy Gomez and Generation Championship Wrestling, and you also ended with, "Do better." Now, look, I originally saw this, and I figured, okay, maybe this is some kind of wrestling thing, the latest storyline and what have you. But it was interesting because I shared it, and the comments underneath are just people piling on and giving their thoughts on Gomez. And then my inbox getting full with people cheering you on for quote unquote speaking up and speaking out and, burying Gomez in that post. And seeing Gomez's response, and I'm like, oh, wait a second. This isn't some just wrestling thing. There's some hurt feelings. There's some real emotion behind this. And that just boggled my mind, man, because again, you're not necessarily known as a guy who is going out starting trouble, so to speak, but you called Gomez out and you didn't do it behind the scenes. You did it in front of everybody very publicly. And because of who you are, because of who the promotion is, because of who Gomez is, the wrestling world saw that and have been weighing in ever since. So I want to get it straight from you, Storm Thomas, because again, there's a copy of the flyer, which you put in your post, and Gomez is front and center in the middle of it. So, which is interesting. He's the promoter and he's in the middle of the flyer. So that's the point that you're making. You shouldn't be doing that, which I agree with you, quite frankly. But I want to get it straight from you. I mean, what made you decide to put that out there? Because, dude, everyone has an opinion on it, and the majority, the super majority of them agree with you.
Realistically, when you go to a movie theater to watch your favorite movie, is the director on the promotional flyer?
Well, no, of course not.
Okay, so let's say you go and you watch the new Star Wars movie that's going to come out. Is the writer on the promotional flyer? Do you see Jon Favreau putting himself on the middle of the flyer, even though the movie has nothing to do with him?
No, that would never happen.
In all of professional wrestling, we need to do better. Now, yes, I did tag Jeremy in it, and I did tag the company because Jeremy and I are no strangers of each other. And I know for a fact, anytime that you say something to him, about him, regarding him, if you don't tag him, he's going to accuse you of saying it behind his back. And I'm not that type of person. If I have something to say, I'm going to say it directly to you, and I'm going to say it about you. And it's not that I hate him. It's just that I don't like the way that he conducted business on this. You want to bring your company back and you want to tell everybody that it's going to be different? Show me it's going to be different. Do something different.
Well, it seems like, a good portion of the entire wrestling industry has weighed in on this and they agree. A lot of folks have taken your message and shouted it out and took that as an opportunity to take their own shots at Gomez and the way he does business, which again, when I saw that, I'm like, okay, this is different. This isn't some wrestling stuff. There's some personal stuff going on here, whether you intended it to be more than whatever the statement you were making or not. It has absolutely escalated into something else. And Gomez, he's flying off the handle like he does. We've certainly have seen countless posts from him. You've seen other wrestlers from other companies, and Jesus Christ, Hammerstone has even weighed in and given his take on Gomez. So this is escalated. This has gone all over the place. I want to know straight up from you, Storm Thomas, did you expect the vigor and the response to this to be so strong by the industry? And more importantly, are you surprised?
It's a two-part answer, really. Did I expect that? No. That post is probably the most quote-unquote viral post I've ever put on Facebook. Am I surprised at the response of everybody else? Yes. I'm surprised that everybody jumped in. What I'm not surprised at is that Jeremy was the one who stirred the pot himself. If that man would have taken my advice with a grain of salt and said, you know what? That's one man's opinion. He can have his opinion. I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to do my business. We wouldn't be where we are. The state of his company would not be where it is. He would not be where he is. And he damn sure wouldn't have the hottest free agent in all of professional wrestling as of January 1st, Alex Hammerstone, shooting a 2.5-minute video on it. But the problem is Jeremy can't keep his mouth shut. So no, I wasn't surprised by that. Am I surprised that the wrestling world kind of took my back and said, hey, yeah, we need to do better? A little bit, because the wrestling world never wants to clean itself up. So I don't regret what I did. I will tell you that right now. I do not regret the post. I do not regret what is happening because it needs to happen. Tell me another talent on that poster real quick.
I can't.
Without looking at it right now, you probably can't.
I can't.
And that is the most important part of the message. This man is so busy trying to get himself over. The talent are not getting over. The chocolate festival in itself, where these talent will be performing, is not getting over. And that in itself was my message. Now, again, I don't hate Jeremy Gomez. I dislike the way he goes about business. I have worked for him countless times. Believe it or not, you can check the archives. I was part of GCW 1 at CannaFest. I did multiple Generation Championship Wrestling shows as a talent, right? But here's where things got a little bit fuzzy for me. Every time I had a match, Jeremy Gomez was inserting himself in my match. So, am I mad that now he's taken some of this backlash? Absolutely not. You know, if you ever have taken the opportunity to just look through any of my Facebook posts, this man will wake up in the morning, notice that I posted something, and he will go ahead and fire off a joke or a meme from a photo shoot I did back in 2018, shirtless with a horse in the background, and will not let this die. So I would be remiss to say that I feel bad at all that now he is starting to get some of that backlash that he was once dishing out to me. And unfortunately, if he can't take the heat, then maybe he needs to get out of his own kitchen.
Well, here's the thing that I've noticed, because I shared your post, as you know, and again,
Yes,
it was an avalanche. And my inbox has been full. First of all, people have called me out for being someone that's allowed Gomez to come on the show through the years and give his take on the Florida indie scene and what he believes is right and wrong and all that good stuff. People have felt that I've been a little too favorable to him, which is why I've opened it up. And quite frankly, it's why I reached out to you, because
Right.
you made that post. I wanted to see if we can seek some balance and some understanding on what's really going on here. But I'm going to be honest, though, Storm. I've seen him take shots at you since that post. And I've noticed that you haven't been posting much since then.
Not about Generation Championship Wrestling.
So that's interesting, because I'm sure people have been reaching out to you and letting you know. Of course, they're doing it on the post, but like me, I'm sure they're talking to you personally just about their feelings about this guy. Do you not want to stoke the fires anymore? Like, why haven't you followed up with anything else?
You'll notice a couple of the posts I put up after that talked about karma, talked about, moving in silence and letting the work speak for itself, right?
Yeah.
This entire time since I put that post up, I've been working behind the scenes because something just hasn't sat right with me for a long time. Again, I don't dislike or hate anybody. I just feel like we can do better, right? You stated it. I am a Florida indie guy. I've been all up and down this state, all up and down the entire country, but I have prided myself in all the work I've done in Florida. And I mentioned that I've been a part of GCW since GCW 1 at CannaFest, right? So with all of my years of doing business with Jeremy Gomez, I've learned that the quieter I stay, the more it allows him to talk. And the more he opens his mouth, he shows his hand. There's actually a board of directors for Generation Entertainment, which is the large company that owns all of these world records for the food trucks. He likes to say it's him, but there's a board of directors that have more than 5 people that call the shots for Generation Entertainment, but he doesn't talk about that. So again, the more that I sit around and listen, the more I learn. And the more I learn, the stronger I become. And here's the thing with me, Duke. I'm a good guy. You can play it back. You said it yourself. You've never heard a bad thing about me. Why is that? because I don't look for problems. I walk around every day. I have a positive, motivational, upbeat personality. I want to help people. I want to grow myself. I want to grow my brand. I want to watch other people grow with me. I walk around not wanting a problem. But if you want a problem, no problem. And over the last few years, as much as Jeremy has poked and poked and poked, he worked himself into a problem he didn't even know he had. And now I make one post about him putting himself on the flyer, and he opened up Pandora's box for me and initiated every problem that he could have never saw coming.
This is wild, bro. I don't know what the hell's going on with you guys down in Florida, but it just seems like every couple of months there's some kind of problem here. So, first of all, I'm confused about this. So you're saying that Gomez, because that's how we when he comes on the show we talk about it. He is the founder and the owner of Generation Championship Wrestling. You're saying that there's a whole other company above that?
Generation Entertainment, the entertainment company that hosts all of these food truck festivals from Michigan to California to everywhere that he's gone and represented Generation Entertainment. He has done so in a management role. There is a full board of people who operate and own Generation Entertainment. And I have spoken with them. So I know this for a fact. They are the ones that give him the money to operate and pay the talent. Why? Here's the thing. Ask Gomez himself, ask all of the talent. When they've been paid, they've all been paid via PayPal. Never by Jeremy Gomez, but by Generation Entertainment. There are receipts for all of it. Now, most indie promoters, they hand you cash in an envelope, Duke, because they're not running an actual business like that. But when you have a board of directors that has to run taxes at the end of every fiscal year, they have to have receipts of every talent they've paid from every show, from every date, from every opportunity. So when these guys are like, oh, no, I need cash, that company comes back and says, no, we pay you via PayPal or you don't work. And that's how it works. And I asked myself that question also because, let's be real, we're independent talents. I'd rather you pay me cash, right?
Sure.
But over a dozen shows have always been wired the money via PayPal. There's always a trace. And it all goes back to Generation Entertainment, not Generation Championship Wrestling. That is just the shell company. That is the professional wrestling brand itself. But they live underneath that board of directors under Generation Entertainment.
Wow. All right. Well, I guess this is breaking news here, folks. So we're finding out that there's more layers to, which I guess that makes sense. I mean, with the food truck thing and the Guinness Book of World Records and what have you, I can't imagine one person would be able to pull that off by themselves. So, okay. So there's a greater body that is organizing that, because it's the scale of that stuff is tremendous. So, okay. All right.
Exactly. And it makes sense. He's dug his own hole, especially with me. I lit a match, but he took the match and he ignited all of the TNT that I could have ever placed out for him. So if Jeremy Gomez wants to go around blaming anybody, he should probably take a look in the mirror. But again, like I said, this has been going on for years, and I've just been slowly biding my time. I mean, realistically, we could drop more breaking news if you wanted to.
Look, you called the guy out for being a promoter, putting himself on the flyer and trying to put himself over. You dug into his business records. I mean, Jesus Christ, what more do you have here?
People are going to be a little bit frustrated with this because I've been sitting on it for a long time, but I've dropped hints. There's a couple people who know. When you're talking about a petty promoter, you can't fight nice with a guy who doesn't know how to play nice. So how do you win? You get just as petty. You do something that he wouldn't even think to do. That being said, as of 1 hour from now, at 5 p.m., Jeremy Gomez will no longer control Generation Championship Wrestling.
What do you mean by that?
I had a meeting before I got on here with you with the board of directors. He will be receiving an official letter, a cease and desist to stop management of operations of Generation Championship Wrestling, and they will appoint a new head of talent and operations instead of Jeremy Gomez. He is being shut down from his own company.
I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what's going. So, what does that mean for the food truck thing?
The food truck thing is still run by Generation Entertainment. That board of directors is still in charge of the food trucks. Will he be there? Sure, probably. But when it comes to the management of the talent of Generation Championship Wrestling, he's not in control as of 5 p.m.
So what about the event that you guys have? So
The event still takes place.
Okay.
Here's the thing. When I went to Generation Entertainment, I went there as a concerned professional wrestling talent. My intentions, I'll be real with you, Duke, were not to get Jeremy released. My intentions were to fight for the talent that are on that show that you don't even know who's on the goddamn poster of. The Metro Brothers, the Mikey Spandexes, the August Artois, the Lexi Gomez's. These people deserve the opportunity to shine. So I reached out to that board of directors that I learned about and asked for a meeting. We got on a Teams call. We talked about some problems, and I brought data, I brought facts, and I just showed them this man that is running your company's name into the ground is ruining something that could be a highly profitable organization, a place where Florida talent could actually come work, put on a show, and entertain thousands of people that come to these festivals. And they saw things through a different set of eyes. So, sure, if you need to put the blame on somebody, you can put it on me. But I didn't do this to hurt anybody. I did this to better everybody else involved. You got guys coming from across the country like Jake Painter, who is the Rex Bacchus Defender of Humanity's champion. Coming down here for what? To get his name slandered because somebody can't keep their mouth shut on social media for 10 minutes? Why would Storm Thomas want to work for Generation Championship Wrestling when Generation Championship Wrestling can't hold a positive reputation for more than 24 hours? Mikey Spandex got released by WWE and NXT as a referee. He jumps back into the indie scene and he's on the flyer for GCW, but nobody gives a shit. Maybe I should have went to him, but you've had conversations with Jeremy. Does he ever listen?
Gomez is his own thing, man. That's
Gomez is gonna Gomez, right?
Yeah.
The problem is he dug himself a hole that he can't crawl out of now. And had he done business the right way, he wouldn't be where he is. So if I'm the one breaking the news before he gets the letter, sue me. But I promise you there is going to be a locker room full of talent at that show in February who will thank me for standing up for them. So plain and simple, Generation Championship Wrestling will still run at the Chocolate Fest. Generation Championship Wrestling will have a new head of talent effective whenever they decide. If you want to hate me, hate me. If you want to thank me, shoot me a DM. But I am going to make sure that I stand up for all of the talent that I can that deserve opportunities. Like when I left wrestling a year ago, I left because I thought I was in the way. And I didn't realize the power I had. Then when I came back, I realized that it's not that I wasn't wanted or wasn't needed. I just needed to move to a different role. And the role now is to make sure that I fight for the talent who can't fight for themselves. So, Metro Brothers, Culture Inc., August Artois, Mikey Spandex, Lexi Gomez, the list goes on. You're welcome. In February, we all will have a safe environment to work where we won't have to feel berated and get cussed out because something doesn't go the right way. Oh, and I won't have my match interfered with by some wannabe who never trained and never really got into the business as more than just a fan who owns a company. The whole situation is just frustrating, and I've been sitting on this for so long. It's nice to finally get this shit off my chest.
Wow, Storm Thomas, he's dropping a whole storm here.
No pun intended.
Jeremy Gomez, the guy you've been seeing melting down online, guy's been on the show a bunch of time, folks. You know who he is. I guess he's removed from his company.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you can only tug on Superman's cape so much before you get knocked the fuck out. And my personal relationship with Jeremy Gomez is right about there. He thinks he's funny. He likes to push. He likes to poke. He likes to prod. Well, maybe he poked the bear just a little too hard. Hey, real talk, if you want to drop a thank you, you can reach me on Facebook, Storm Thomas. I'm easy to find. Instagram and Twitter, _Storm_Thomas. If you have ever been personally affected by Jeremy Gomez and his antics, please feel free to drop me a line. Hopefully, Generation Championship Wrestling will be able to move forward, build a new reputation without Jeremy Gomez. So that's going to be the goal, is to still have quality entertainment, quality professional wrestling opportunities for talented individuals and talented workers who want to come put on a show, but not have all of the backstage drama and the Facebook chats and all the bullshit that comes along with being part of Jeremy Gomez's version of Generation Championship Wrestling. To Alex Hammerstone, to everybody else that was offended or affected by this, it's not my place to apologize. You may not care about it, but for what you've had to deal with because of the blowback of my post, I apologize. That was not the intention. The intention was never to misdirect or redirect this at anybody else who had an opinion on my opinion. So please accept my apologies. And for the fans that are listening, give Generation Championship Wrestling a chance to earn your respect. If you're a Game Changer fan and you hate our GCW, give us a chance to prove ourselves without Gomez. Let us show you that we can run a professional wrestling company without the bullshit. Please accept my apology and accept my invitation to just give us the opportunity to show you that we can go.
Folks, I don't know what to make of any of this stuff, other than to say that it's Florida. It's Florida. I don't know. The Florida wrestling scene is just, you can't even predict what makes sense, because it just when you think everything is moving in a direction that makes sense, it goes all over the place. That whole thing with Storm Thomas putting out that post and people responding the way that they did. Again, I don't know. I thought that was some kind of potential, as they say, work. Somebody's going to get pissed at me for using wrestling terms because I'm not a wrestler, but I thought that was some kind of work. And it's like, okay, that's interesting. But the way people responded, I don't know. And so now this next chapter here, so they're kicking Gomez out of the company. Okay. I always thought Gomez owned the company. So now they're saying that some other greater organization owns the company. And I, as Storm was talking, I did a little research. Generation Entertainment is in fact a separate umbrella company. That's a fact. So I don't know. I don't know who is in charge of that or what have you. But, Storm says there's a board, and he spoke to the board, and now they're removing Gomez. Wow. I'll just say this. I don't know, and I'll speak to Gomez privately and just see what the hell's going on for real. Because if this is some kind of wrestling thing, that's a lot of people involved, right? If this is some kind of wrestling thing, that's a lot of people involved. I don't think it's that. Because there's too many people hitting me up and wanting to come on and share their thoughts on Gomez. And some pretty big names have actually said some things about him. So I guess this guy's just been pissing people off left and right. And certainly he's been flying off the handle, which is a Gomez hallmark. If somebody says something that he doesn't like, he's going to respond. So it is what it is. But to take the guy's company away from him, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Does he still get paid, or like what? I don't know. And if I don't know and you don't know, who knows, right? But it's Florida, man. That's all I can say. It's very Florida, the whole thing. And the good news is that the chocolate food truck event is still going on, and therefore the actual wrestling is still going on. So that's good. So hopefully, if anything positive comes out of this, we get some good wrestling. Because look, Generation Championship Wrestling, they have been the place that's launched a lot of careers. You know, there's a lot of people on TV now who made their bones in Generation Championship Wrestling. So it does have a place, I believe, on the independent wrestling scene. But I know there's a lot of promoters down in Florida who are sick and tired of Gomez. And as a result, they're sick and tired of that promotion because of Gomez. So if they remove Gomez from the promotion, does that mean that everybody else is going to be okay with the promotion and people can just move forward and do business, and more importantly, talent has another place where they can make money? That's my question. I don't know, but I just, the whole thing is just confusing and wild. You take somebody's, this is like WWE all over again. You could take the guy's company away from him, right? I don't know. It is what it is, but that's the biggest story that was going on online. And so many of you were asking me, am I going to cover it? Am I going to get Storm Thomas on? I wasn't going to do it just because it seems too much of a sensitive topic. And a lot of stuff, when it starts getting crazy, I like to let it breathe for a minute before I talk to people, because God only knows what they're going to say. And certainly Storm Thomas had a lot to say there. So there's that. I did say I'm not going to have Gomez on the show for a while. I did announce that. You guys saw that online. So is that fair, especially in light of whatever Storm just said? I don't know, but I'm going to stick to that since I said it. So, and there's other people who want to come on. They want to talk about Gomez. I've given Gomez a lot of airtime on this show. So other people got to have their shot, right? And I'll tell you, a couple years ago, Texas went through something similar where it just seemed like everybody was fighting with each other. They were not together at all. It was a mess. And Texas is slowly digging out of that, but it's still kind of separate in a lot of ways. Still people out for themselves and people not really working together or finding a way to coexist properly. And it's just a shame, you know, if Florida is going to continue to be similar, it's a shame. Because again, you got a lot of talented people in these territories who could make a difference. And they need promotions that are more interested in running business the right way, so they have a place that they can go to and launch from. And then they also have a place that they can land back on after they've made their bones in the big time. Independent wrestling companies have a place in the ecosystem. Does Jeremy Gomez have a place in the ecosystem? You know, a lot of you don't think so. Some of you do. There are some people who hit me up, you know, supportive of the guy, but a lot of you don't think so. So it'd be interesting to see how, you know, where this goes. But this is Duke Loves Rasslin. I've been documenting what's been going on down there pretty much the entirety of this show. So I guess I'm going to keep going here, right? It is what it is. Anyways, that was a quick one. There will be more episodes as we lead up to Christmas. In fact, I got a great holiday episode. I think I'm going to drop it on Christmas Eve. So we'll see about that. Got the submission queen going to make her appearance on the show. That's all I'm going to say. And then to end the year, I got a great talent. Great talent who I'm very high on. Another independent wrestler who I think is going to be a big deal in 2024. So that'll be the last episode of the year. So that's coming up in another week. But for now, Florida. What the hell's going on in Florida? Be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. Take it away, Tony Schiavone.
This is Tony Schiavone, and we're desperately out of time on Duke Loves Wrestling.